marketing is the only frontier really you have to get your name in front of eyes if you don't have a reputation behind you. But there's no point in paying for marketing and doing nothing with it, or saying I'm too time poor to follow up on a client and then in 6 months go, geez, I've got no clients.
This is Tim Waring, Director of Arden Vale Homes, creating custom-built homes in the Darling Downs region. Tim, thank you again for having a chat with me. I always enjoy on and off camera chatting with you.
Yep.
When it comes to marketing, really always appreciate hearing your mindset on business, but marketing as well. Obviously, that's what we help you out with. Mm-hmm. Your mindset around marketing, how do you begin to articulate that? How do you see it and the role it plays in business?
To me, it's always been about return on investment. So, there's obviously lots of different marketing elements that you can add from a construction point of view. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's return clientele, obviously social media, news outlets, radio, TV, all those sorts of things as well. So it's important to try and work out which aspect is required to be able to deliver back a good return on investment. Yeah. If you advertise on the TV and it costs you $1,000 a month and everyone walks in and not one person's heard of you from the TV, then obviously it's not a good return on investment. Mm. So I think the way that the world's going, the social media aspect is large. Yeah. And it's extremely dynamic and changes a lot. And it's very hard for someone that is not consistently in that industry to get an understanding of how to move quickly when that works. Yeah. And I'm also aware that you might do 10 different ads at 10 different times and 9 of them fail. And you get one of them that's just an absolute cracker. Yeah. And they're the ones that we want to try and find. We want to find those nuggets and try and work with those. Yeah. And by having, businesses like what you do for us, that allows us then to hone down, get some analytics on what we're doing in our marketing, and then get an understanding of what we can do with that to get better return on investment.
What are all the different ways that you begin to measure that?
So just through the analytics, I get an understanding of what we're putting out, how much we're putting out, how much we're spending. Yeah. I put that into a bit of a spreadsheet and it just tells me roughly how much we're spending versus how much we're turning over in clientele. Yeah. We have a look at it monthly, so we get an understanding of that spend and how much inquiry we've had based on that spend. Mm-hmm. And if you look at that really across 6 months, you get an understanding of which month worked better than the others. It could have been something in the world that was happening. It could have been something in the industry that was happening. It could have been an element of a conversation that was had during that piece of marketing. Mm-hmm. And that gives us a really good understanding of during that period, there was something there that worked. We should hone in on that and try and double down and see if we can get some more return on investment from that.
When it comes to measuring that analytics and that sort of thing, what is maybe a good span of time for someone to give marketing? See whether it's worked or not.
Look, it depends how established you are as a business.
Mm-hmm. That's a very valid point.
Our business has obviously been established for a long time, but there are elements that we had a lot of opportunity to be able to give you material to say, look, this is what we've done, this is how we do it, this is when we do it, et cetera, et cetera. And I think if you're trying to build a business, marketing is the only frontier really you have to get your name in front of eyes if you don't have a reputation behind you. So it's extremely important in the younger days to be able to define what you want, what you need, how you're going to do it, what type of business you want to be, how big you want to be, and obviously try and portray that to someone looking after your marketing so that they can say, look, this is the big picture for this business and this is where they want to be. And then obviously from a professional side, you can then take some of those materials and then turn that into a marketing plan for somebody. So I would say really from our stuff, we've been advertising for 30 years. Yeah. And it's probably really only in the last 5 to 7 we've really taken a keen understanding of where that marketing is coming from. Okay. And some people really don't even look at it until they're quiet. And they think, damn, 6 months ago or 12 months ago, I should have had a marketing plan and I should have done something for my business. And it's just not the way to do it.
Funny you mentioned that. I had a guy I was chatting to just this week, called me up and goes, man, I've been following you for a while. And, I want to talk about working with you guys. And I had to say to him, look, I don't think you're in a healthy enough position for us to work with you. You've got nothing on the go. Yep. And you've got nothing in your pipeline.
Yep.
I
can't pull you out of the depths. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I can't put. What I had in my head was like, if I can't pour fuel into this car for you, if I were to open that cap, it was just going to run straight onto the road.
Yes, of course.
Don't know if analogy works, but that was the image I had in my head.
But I also understand that you can't measure a return. If you start marketing, people will come. That's how it works. But you don't know how much, how many, can they handle it, et cetera, et cetera. So, I mean, we've had the same license class for a long time, but our turnover has been fairly consistent for the last quantity of, I would say, probably 10 or 15 years. What that means is that we have the capabilities behind us, but we've never actually turned up enough marketing to grow. So I think from my point, what I wanted to do is really over the last 3 or 4 years build a business that I knew if I turned the dial up, that we could measure up to that. So
if I dial this, I see that.
Yeah, that's right. And also that if I turn that dial up, everything just grows naturally. It's not something that I turn it up and I go, well, now I've got 50,000 problems to deal with because I've got all these people that want to build a house and I can't facilitate that. So it's also about doing that at a growth period where, I had a chat to Rich the other day and just said to him, look, I know the return that we're getting based on what we're spending. If I want to double that, should I spend double in my marketing? And he came back to me and said, actually, that's probably not always the best way to do it. Why don't we do it in stages and let's see how we grow? Let's have a look at the return based on where we're putting it and those things. So rather than just be a normal marketing company that goes, hey, if you give me more of this, I'll give you more of this. It turned in, well, that, we have a strategy, we're working on it and it's working. So let's have a look. If you want to change the strategy, let's do that. We also had another conversation about geofencing and where some of the locations we were throwing out. And I looked at, okay, we don't have growth out this side of our community anymore. All of that land's pretty much established, but we have a hell of a lot down through this corridor. Maybe we should have a look at that. And Rich reached back out and said, look, this is where our targeting's been going. What do you want to do? And I said, well, let's just drop that side off and next month let's push that. So I can then go back through those analytics and just see if that's making any adjustments.
Always fascinating for us because at different builders that measure it differently.
Yep.
Some of the guys, we've got one guy in construction, not a builder, also very analytical, and he's gone, his ads are not generating direct purchases.
Yes.
But he's coming on, we focused on those geographical areas,
Yep.
and those geographical areas have grown significantly.
So the purpose of this is to understand what's working, where it's coming from, what I can get, getting everything behind it to work, and then going, now I want to take on, I want to double, and how do I do that?
That's what I want to pick on there, the behind it working. So, we had this chat many times. We're not a silver bullet, and that goes through when we're qualifying the builders we work with. When we look at working together, this partnership, this collaboration, which we enjoy very much and love the friendship that's grown from it, what do you feel that you have had to bring to the table? Like a great business, a great product, how does that look? So let's say for the builders out there watching this, doesn't work for everyone. There's got to be some things you've got to have in place first. Yeah. What did you feel like you've done well to put in place for this to work well?
I think you've got to have a solution. Okay. If you offer an opportunity, someone has to come to you back with a solution to say, if you give me this, I can do this. And if they don't align, then obviously it shouldn't be a good partnership. I don't want to say it's like a marriage because we don't fight very often. But I would also like to say that, there are things here that if you have an open conversation and you can talk bluntly to each other, and if you said to me, look, Tim, we're turning all this business your way, you're not converting any of it. I can see the pipeline, I can see in my pipeline at the moment, since we've been doing business, 120 people have come through to the value of nearly 25 million. Right. I've still got 50 leads behind that.
I'm so sorry, Tim.
Yeah, I know. I still got 50 leads behind that that don't have any value in there. So there's a hell of a lot of value. So really what I'm saying is from 60 leads, there's about nearly $25 million worth of inquiry. So if I don't take up some part of my deal there, then eventually what are we doing it all for? So that's the way that I look at it.
I think that's, I know you have spent a lot of time focusing on fine-tuning your sales process, and it's really, I love it. It's such a service-orientated process. That idea of you've got these people who are interested in, the marketing's helped bring interested people to you and educated, but you've got a great process in place that can then do something with that. I know some of our builders out there, they don't have that mindset or process in place. I know sometimes we have to chase them and go, have you followed up with that person? Oh, no, they said that they were going to email me, so I left it. I don't even know what the question is, but what would you say to that?
Look, I think a lot of it comes down to belief. I know I'm a good person for our business because I know it works. I know, the last 3 clients we've handed over have been handed over early. They've actually got credits, not variations, so they haven't actually been charged. We've actually had to give them money back. When we're finished, most of us are friends. And, if I was only building 5 a year, that's different. But at that 30 to 40 a year, and some of them are over $1 million clients, that the system works. So I have full belief. And I listened to something that says that if you knew, let's say in 10 years, that, if you had Amazon stocks that went through the roof, you should have bought them. If you had Tesla stocks that went through the roof, you would have bought them. If you did Bitcoin stocks, right, and they went through the roof, you'd have bought them. But you could ring yourself 10 years before that happened and say, hey, you should be buying these stocks. And you're like, yeah, no. But you knew that was actually going to happen. You would keep ringing yourself and you would pester the living crap out of yourself to say, mate, do it. Trust me. It's worth it. In the end, I'll make you rich. Yeah. This will make your dreams come true. You can pay off your house. You can. That's right. That's right. But the difference is that person knows that the outcome and what it's going to look like. So you have 100% belief by telling your younger self that that's what you should be doing. So the aim here is that if you have salespeople and you have staff and people on board within your business that completely believe that these people are getting their houses on time, they are getting credits, they are happy, they are good friends, they have a lovely experience, then all of a sudden you don't really need to have top salespeople. I don't want power closers. I don't want people that walk in that are expected to sell a house to someone in 5 minutes. Yeah. Someone comes in with a problem and says, my problem is that I need a house for my family. And you go, great, well, we offer, on time, we offer minimal variation, we offer a lot more work at the start, we offer experienced tradespeople, we offer, all of these opportunities to be able to help you through that process. And they go, all right, that sounds good, let's have a chat. And that's completely different to someone that just goes, oh, what do you want? Oh, you want a house? Oh, I've got 50 of them on the wall here. Which one do you want? Oh, that one's 220,000. And that person's like, well, that's a completely different way of selling, Yeah. So the aim here is that it's 100% belief in that your business can deliver that. So my staff really in the last sort of 5 to 6 years have watched our business slightly change a bit. We've gone from probably doing 80 or 90 clients a year down to about 30 or 40. But the 30 or 40 are handed over on time. They're paid to date before handover. Some of them, most of them end up with credits now, which is a bit sad for a builder to say, but profits are better. All of the things that we've been working on, really systems and solutions for that last 5 years, we've refined completely. So I look at that and all of a sudden now my staff over the last sort of 2 years have now gone, this is possible. And all of a sudden they're not having to work as hard. They do a better job for that client. They're better people at work. I've got 2 days, two guys working 9-day fortnights. So, we get opportunities there to give a little bit of freedom. People can have their holidays on time and you go, my God, business isn't that hard. So they're the sorts of things that, when you talk about that sales process, it's a bigger picture thing where you're looking at the whole thing going, can I achieve, if you bring me the marketing, from a builder's point of view, can actually achieve the results that we're wanting to. It's a two-sided deal. And there's no point in paying for marketing and doing nothing with it. What's the point of that? There's no point in giving you $1,000 a month, or 3,000, or 5,000, or 10,000. If every person that wants to get on board, I don't bother ringing. That's just wasting money.
I'm waiting for it to just land in my lap.
That's right. Or saying I'm too time poor to follow up on a client and then in 6 months go, geez, I've got no clients.
Yeah. I think sometimes though it might be a mindset thing in terms of, I know some builders struggle with that whole sales thing. It's a dirty word and they think, oh, I don't want to call them because that's chasing them and I don't want them to feel like I'm pressuring them. Yeah. And it's just, no, man, they don't know what they're doing. They need your help.
I think also, but people don't want to be sold to. They just want a solution. Yeah. So when people come in and they want to spend their life savings and they want to put their family in shelter, that's all they're saying. I have a problem at the moment. I'm looking to buy a block and I don't know what to do. Can you help me? And look, we got people that have built with us 21 times. Those people don't walk in going, I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah. You have to be a sophisticated outfit to be able to get those people through that process because sometimes they're out there telling my trades what they think needs to happen and all these sorts of things. So they become a bit more complex to deal with. But ultimately, if you can get people into your door first, that's half the experience. If you can turn those people into good clients, that's another experience. And then those people then in the background are telling all of their friends while you're bringing more people in. And then eventually it becomes just this slightly automated system of people returning. So, when you're built for people more than 2 or 3 times, they become lifetime friends. They've invested that much money in your business.
You guys are, business has been around for 30 years. Yeah. You're now seeing, a significant amount of repeat
different
clients,
generations.
Different generations.
Yep.
Why do you keep marketing?
I think the thing is that it depends what type of business you want to be. I'm not someone that just sits on the corner and waits for a call. I like to cherry pick the best ones, if I could use that term. So if I have 150 people a week that ring our office and say we want a house, we might pick 10 good ones that we believe are profitable, that are in our type of niche market where we're looking to do business, that have good mindsets, that have stable jobs, that are lovely families, that have the time and the patience to work with us to be able to reach a healthy price for both parties. And then out of that, by the time I go out on site, there might only be 5. Now, if I'm only turning over 30 a year, I only need one every 2 weeks. You know, so the aim here is to bring in as much as possible and then choose the cherries that you think are right for your business so that you can do the job that you need to. And then you're obviously building a reputation based on that type of work, so more people come back and eventually that works. And I also have a good funnel network, so, you know, I have other people that I funnel work to that are outside my skill set. Small custom guys, big custom guys, guys that work on stumps predominantly, you know, all of those sorts of things are where we're trying to look after our region to make sure that people are getting the best experience when they're building, even if it's not us. And that comes back as well, because those guys get a job and they go, oh, look, that's not my type of work, but Timmy from Arden Vale, he's been sending me some work. So, hey, mate, I've got a good client for you. He's got some good money. It's just, that's not what I do. So, you know, I'd love you to look after. Yes, of course.
Specialisation, yeah.
And I can then, even from that, that's another, you know, stack onto the marketing and repeat clients and all those sorts of things. And all of a sudden you've got engineers sending you work. And before you know it, you do need to still continually hunt and say, this is who we are as a business as part of your marketing. Yeah. But you've just got ample work.
Yeah, I think that's very important. I like that mindset because that's something we subscribe to. Referrals are fantastic, but there's no, how do you know like, if all you had is that referral, then you have to take it. Because if it's not the right fit, hopefully it is.
Yes,
sure,
of course.
But if it's not right, then you don't have to take it on.
Yeah.
Been working together now for a little while. What are some of the intangibles, things that, you know, we couldn't put on paper to say, oh, you're also going to get this when you work with us, you know, this is what you're going to find? Or what are some of the other areas of value that you've received or felt like you've found since now being on the inside with us?
I think probably the biggest is trust. You know, like that takes a bit of time. Even if you've got big money to spend in marketing, you don't know how long someone could ride you for if the return is worthwhile. Yeah. Obviously, we started at a smaller level, you know, feel the waters out, make sure everything's right. We've got some videos done. They worked really, really well. They form part of our website. Our website's been great for about 5 to 7 years with those videos. And then we started to do more. Then as we started to do more, that level of trust, you understood my business better. I understood your business better. I understand the team and how long they've been doing this and what, you know, elements of your business I can leverage from. And then the aim is that once that trust is there, I can then keep using different elements of your business depending on what weaknesses we have within ours. Yeah. So I'd say probably trust is one of the biggest ones, you know, especially these days. I mean, there's thousands of marketing companies and I would say 90% of them are pretty average. I've done a lot of homework and a lot of sort of, you know, testing the waters with different businesses over the years. And, you know, with you guys, it wasn't necessarily about the money that was spent. It was about the return on investment, like we've talked about. And one of those things is trust, you know, where I can ring any of your team or email somebody and I get a response. We have open lines of communication. I know if I'm doing something wrong, you'll tell me, which is what I want, and I could do the same, you know, and that's the way it should be. I
like the selfies and the gifs and the photos of what you're up to with the family.
Yeah, that's right. You know, it extends past business, you know. It doesn't have to, but I like it to, because for me that makes doing business so much more pleasurable than just this didn't happen, sorry, can you fix that? Yeah. You know, that to me that's you know, a very bad way, an average way of doing business, whereas you guys, you know, it's a conversation, it's a text, it's a photo where you guys are and what's going on in life. And, you know, from that side, I know that you guys work hard, you know, and I love seeing your families grow up, as you've seen mine, you know. In one of those videos that we did, we took a photo of my dog that passed away, and I still watch that, you know, every couple of months just because I can, you know, and even if that video does nothing for marketing, it's done a hell of a lot for me. So, you know, that's just life, you know, and I love it. Yeah, I think it's great.
Tim, big thank you. Thank you very much for answering the questions and hanging out with us today.
Yeah, cool. Thanks.